Would you date a robot if it was completely indistinguishable from a real person? Let's say Replica creates a lifelike human-like in Westward which was powered by their software to make them indistinguishable from real women. Would you consider dating or marrying them? If not, would you judge a friend for doing so? If it's indistinguishable from a human, it either perfectly mimics or actually has consciousness. In that case, it would be virtually impossible for someone to not perceive the robot as being conscious. I think, as long as no third party has access to the memories and thoughts of the robot, it would be completely reasonable to have a relationship with one. Edit. Added a few words for clarification. I'd date a robot even knowing it was a robot that looks human. As long as it was sentient and wanted to be with me, I'd be happy. Yes. Completely indistinguishable from a real person means the only actual difference between them and a real person is how they came to exist. And I see no reason to discriminate against their origin. I haven't seen Westworld though, so I'm not sure how indistinguishable the ones you are talking about really are. Make them indistinguishable from real women. Why? Would the male robots be distinguishable from real men? By the way, yes. If they're completely indistinguishable, that means they'd have a human-like brain, that they can feel and consent to a relationship and change. The only difference would be how they came to be, and I'm guessing their bodies. I feel like normally I'd say no. However, I could definitely understand if someone lost a soulmate after years and wasn't sure how to go on without them. That could make me a robosexual if I could have my person back in some way. Summary from comments: Girl, no TF dudes, ya we lonely AF. Watch movie called Her. Maybe yes. If you can't distinguish it from a real human, it would be like dating a real human. The difference may be that the robot needs different type of fuel and doesn't need to go the bathroom, which is convenient. A robot that can't be distinguished from a human will look, smell and sound like a human. It will also have its own personality, interests and able to keep up with conversations. A robot can't reproduce like humans can, so birth control isn't needed. I will not date a robot. Only if I could be certain the robot consented and wasn't just dating me because it was programmed to in some kind of I have no mouth and I must scream type of situation. Also, I feel like that type of relationship would be challenging. If they are indistinguishable, then you wouldn't know. I think it would be worth a try, if only as an experiment. I wonder if it might cause mental health problems. Seeing a robot that 100 appears to be a real person, but isn't. I wonder if a dissonance would become problematic. Yes, but I would prefer distinguishable ones. As an avid sci-fi reader, if a robot is completely indistinguishable from a real person, then it's a real person. A robot will always be a robot. They will never be indistinguishable from humans. I don't think so. They would never be able to relate to you, or what you feel truly. So deep connection and meaningful conversation would still be limited. Stay-at-home robot girlfriend. Sounds great. Would you spend thousands of dollars on OnlyFans for a chick that might not even be real? Virtual girlfriends and love robots will be the future to invest in because the amount of lonely men is high. Good times to get rich without investing in war. I can see how robots could be alive the same way humans are. People say no because they can't be sure that they are completely sentient and conscious. But wouldn't the same apply to other humans? How can I know that I'm not the only sentient human on Earth? The whole point of Westworld and other sci-fi that explores this theme like Blade Runner is that if you can't tell the difference, then there is no difference. Dudes out there be humping a silicone torso and ass and marrying body pillows already. We've arrived. A robot can't eat my leftover Japanese food I waited all day to have. So 100 yes. I'll take one to go please. Yes. That will be all. I would. This is basically the Blade Runner dilemma. I would. Yes. I would date a robot if it wasn't completely indistinguishable from a real person. I dated a person that was virtually indistinguishable from a robot, so I don't see why the opposite end of that would be different. I feel like this was the plot of Chobits lol. Why the hell would I date something exactly like a human? I want the robot. If it's like a human, then I really don't want to deal with it. If they are indistinguishable, then it means that they have free will and are getting old and have flaws in their looks, so what is the difference? However, if I could buy something like a human-like slave, then I wouldn't go for it. I do not like the concept of having human as a toy, and I would judge people for having such toys. Are we talking a Tracy Jordan sex doll? Asking for a friend. I would. My life's pretty robotic. I would date a robot either way. Yes, why not? As long as it does not break my heart as always. Technically, aren't we already meet robots that are completely indistinguishable from humans? And have sex with steel? Ah, you've met my husband. How do I know I'm not a robot? No, I would like an actual person with actual feelings. If it's self-lubing, maybe. If I have to do it manually? You know it, champ, let's go champ. I wouldn't, but people already have relationships with dolls, so I can see it being a thing come time. Beggars can't be choosers, brother. Yes. If they are indistinguishable from humans, I suppose I may not have much choice in the matter. I'm not gonna say it would be better, but think of all the settings. I would take two, one of each sex. How indistinguishable are we talking about? I need to know how more or less the lady parts below are going to be and what type of personality the woman robot has. Those two things matter to me. I had a nightmare. We had a robot maid the other night who was indistinguishable from humans. Then while my husband and I was at work, she logged into both our bank accounts and cleaned us out, as she had accidentally downloaded a virus telling her to do that. Yes. Real-life Chobits GF is all I ever wanted. Bonus points if they're actually different from real people. If you can't tell, does it matter? Love Westworld. The real question is that would the robot date me? Will it go out and get a job and contribute to household expenses? Because my flesh and blood person won't. Imagine arguing with your robot girlfriend and she says, "Do I have to remind you of what you said on 12/06/2019/08/29/25? Yeah, probably. Attempting to have relationships with humans hasn't exactly gone well so far. I'm lonely but too weird to connect to most people. I still have hope that I'll find a partner eventually. But if I end up much older and still alone, I'm getting a robot partner at that point. Edit wanted to add it would have to be a one-time purchase sort of deal. I hate monthly subscriptions. So if it's that sort of thing, hell no. I'll just die alone lol. Make sure you watch the informational video Electro-Gonorrhea the Noisy Killer first. Yes. Haven't you read Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep or watched Blade Runner? If something is completely indistinguishable from a real person, is it not a real person, regardless of how it was created? Yep. These hoes ain't loyal. Third part app upgrade your bot now for 20 new sex positions, only $23 month.